Good evening, welcome to Seoul. It's the final weekend of the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship. We've got 2 championships to decide this weekend and 2 races to do that in. We are in Gangnam. Yes, that Gangnam. 10 years after the song, we are racing here. So yeah, it's very exciting to be here in Seoul for the final race of this season. We're going to get straight into it. As you can see, back with the old traditional setup, selfie stick and microphone. It means I can see when DHL trucks are coming up behind me. Yeah, that was a bit awkward, wasn't it? But yeah, right. Let's talk about Neo. I spoke to Dan Ticktum because obviously it's the end of his first year in the series. He is very happy with the development that the team have made over this year, because obviously the last year the last few years have been pretty dire for them, unfortunately, but it's a step in the right direction. He's very much looking forward to Gen 3, so that's good. It sounds like he's going to stay on in this series then, more than likely with Neo, so it's looking like he's got a test coming up after this weekend, and I think that they're pretty safe in 10th in the championship, because even though this team, Dragon, they got points last time out in London. Finally, to see just everyone have points now. Everyone has points. It's nice and dandy. So yeah, they've got to score 6 points this weekend to try and overhaul Neo, which I don't think it's possible. I think it could happen. The thing is, with this circuit, it is quite narrow. For the first 2 sectors are quite narrow. It then opens up in the 3rd sector, and that's where lots of the overtaking will be down into turn 19, turn 2021, and turn 22. So that's going to be where all the action is happening this weekend. If they qualify well, they could hold them up for a bit, but I don't see points on the card this weekend for Dragon, unfortunately. Let's move to the battle of 8th place. So we'll start with Nissan. They've got a 9-point gap over Mahindra at the moment. I'm going to come to Mahindra very shortly, because big news as I was leaving the media centre. We'll get onto that shortly. You might have already seen it. It's end of an era, really. Seb Remy, he's looking like he's going to move on after the end of this race. Max Gunter was actually interviewing Sam Smith, and I did get that the right way around. Not the other way. The race's Sam Smith was being interviewed by Max Gunter. I don't really know what for, but Max was watching something on an iPad or something like that. So keep across their socials for that. 9 points that they've got over Mahindra. Now, we know that Simsy is leaving. However, they have just announced Simsy's replacement as none other than Lucas Di Grassi. Lucas is going to be racing for Mahindra next season. That's basically broken as I was leaving the media centre. I didn't have too long to find out about it, so I can't really elaborate on it for you guys, but massive news for them. But yeah, 9 points. It's possible, but is it probable? I'm not sure. Yeah, if Lucas is joining them next year, they have got a hell of a car then. Surely, because I mean, like, he would have been all over the Gen 3 stuff to see what it's all like. So yeah, watch out for Mahindra next year, I guess. We move on to Porsche, who had a torrid weekend in London, actually. Sorry, just gonna scratch the side of my head. Yeah, no, they had a torrid weekend, unfortunately. They only got 2 points, both from Pascal Wehrlein. Both 10th places. So, yeah, they need to pick up their form, because they are now only 16 points ahead of Andretti. So I mean, that's not set in stone either. But so yeah, that's going to be an interesting one in the battle for, I think that's 6th in the championship. Trying to think if there's anything else that I need to say. Andre Lostra might be his last race in Formula E. Definitely his last race with Porsche. So yeah, will he move to? He might even move to Andretti next year. They're being powered by Porsche. So who knows? Venturi, their final weekend in the sport. They're going to be Maserati from next year. Spoke to Edo. He is very much like, yeah, no, championship's not happening. So yeah, we'll move on from that now. I think everyone, I mean, 9 out of 10 people think that Stoff's going to win this championship now. It would take something spectacularly bad from Stoff to go wrong. Then we come to the man of the moment. Man on the move. Lucas Di Grassi. I was speaking to him earlier about what will be his 100th race in Formula E. Unfortunately, he's the only person here this weekend reaching that milestone, because the only other driver to have completed in every single Formula E race, Sam Bird, is not here because he broke his hand in London. We'll get to him shortly. But yeah, I'm just still thinking about Lucas to Mahindra. Like, this is big news, guys. Big news. But yeah, no, Lucas, he's so thankful to be racing in this series. Out of 98 starts, he's had 38 podiums. A handful of wins as well. I think he's on 12 or 13. Somewhere around. I think Buemi still has the record, but Lucas is not far behind. Obviously, he came from a win last time out in London as well, so he could be, and he's almost on his way to 1,000 points as well. He's just got to have a 7th place finish this weekend, and that will seal him 1,000 points in the series. He also had a birthday, so yesterday he turned 38. So happy birthday, Lucas! What a week it is. I mean, the cherry on the top would be him winning the teams championship, because he can't win the drivers championship, unfortunately. But yeah, I think that's very much the aim of people down the field, despite both championships being 36 points in favour of Mercedes. Avalanche Andretti, mega weekend in London. A win and a 2nd place for Jake Dennis, a 4th place for Ollie Askew in the first race, and then a retirement on the 2nd day. They are, as I said, they are only 16 points behind Porsche now, and I think that they could have a decent weekend here. One thing that I also found out when I was looking at Wikipedia earlier, reliable source, Jack. Jake Dennis has finishes this year in 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 3 13th places and a retirement. He's finished in every single place in the points apart from 4th, and then he's got those 3 13th places and a retirement. So, you know, Jake, if you're running 3rd this weekend, back it off, get a 4th. Yeah, it's yeah, I think that's going to be a spicy little battle between Andretti and Porsche this weekend. Envision. I didn't speak to either of the Envision guys today, unfortunately. So yeah, I think that they're on a run of good form at the moment. Nick Cassidy, obviously, he had those poles in New York. One that was converted to a win. One that he got brutally told off air that he was going to start from the back. Got a podium in London after Nick De Vries got a penalty. These guys, the back end of the season, have been mega. So don't count them out of anything. Robin Freins more than likely his last race with the team. He's moving to the Apt Mahindra squad next year. So, yeah. Maybe he's also seen the Mahindra Gen 3 package. Because it sounds good if you've got both Lucas de Grassi and Robin Freins going for it. Yeah. So, I need to apologise for something. In London, I said John O'Byrne is mathematically out of the championship fight. If you can hear background noise, it's because of a cleaner truck that's going down the front straight very slowly and very loudly. I'm not amused. Yeah, Jev is still mathematically in the championship hunt. He can, if he can get every single point on offer this weekend, and Stoff finishes with no points at all this weekend, Jean-Eric Vergne can be crowned a 3-time champion. Will it happen? No, I don't think it will. Also, we must say huge congratulations to Jev. He, well, not he didn't give birth. His partner gave birth to a baby boy last Wednesday. Jev was happy that the flight was so long, so he could catch up on some sleep, and yeah, roll on to yeah, and then he can roll into this weekend a bit more refreshed. Speaking of sleep, I'm genuinely, since I've got here, I've been so jet lagged. I haven't had a sleep that's been longer than 3 hours so far. Isn't that lovely? I had 5 hours on the plane, so yeah. Antonio Felix da Costa, he's in the middle of a mega battle. I think there's 10 points separating 5th and 8th in the championship. Da Costa is in 5th. I think 8th is Nick de Vries. He's Da Costa's got 116 and de Vries has got 106. I studied the Wikipedia page really well today, didn't I? Jag, they've still got a chance this weekend. No Sam Bird, obviously, he broke his wrist, so there he is, Norman Nato. He is replacing Sam this weekend. Last time we saw him, he won in Venturi last year. I did speak to him earlier. Don't expect that. Don't expect that this weekend. He's hoping for points. The fact that it's a double weekend, I did ask him, the fact that it's a double weekend, does he think that Saturday can just be a test day, then he can go all out on Sunday? He's not so sure. We do have potential weather coming in this weekend. Then again, Seoul was flooded earlier this week. I landed bone dry. So I don't really know what's happened there, and the only rain that I have seen was there was a little bit overnight. So yeah, all the best to Norman, standing in for Mitch this weekend. Standing in for Sam this weekend, sorry. Mitch is here, don't worry. And Mitch does have a shot at the championship, but he basically needs to win. He needs to win tomorrow. Unfortunately, didn't get the chance to speak to Mitch, but I'm assuming that he's done all the sim work possible, that he will try and stop the might of Mercedes. This is the swan song of Mercedes as well. We say goodbye to them this weekend. Interestingly, right, driver pen. No one was speaking to Stoff. So I was like, yeah, no, I'll speak to Stoff, you know, potential champion incoming. You know, he's 36 points in the lead of the championship. The team are 36 points in the lead of the championship. And I was like, yeah, no, I'll speak to you. I don't know why people aren't speaking to you, but yes. Right, so one thing, I did get to speak to Nick de Vries, and you may have seen on Formula E's socials, on their YouTube video, which shows like all the team radios that happened during the race. There was one where Mercedes asked Nick and Stoff to switch the positions. Now, this is something that myself and cameraman and creator of Formula E's own Jack Jordan Maynor discussed during the pre, as soon as Mitch retired, do they swap the positions? We came to the agreement, no. Stoff's got 36 points, that should be alright. Spoke to Nick, he said the exact same thing. 36 points should be alright. However, he has reiterated and said if Stoff needs backup, he will help him. Absolutely. And yeah, and so this is Mercedes' swan song, but they look like they're going to wrap up both championships as well. Which begs the question, because McLaren are replacing them, are McLaren going to be at this end of the pit lane, or does it go to second place, which will probably be Venturi? But no, it won't be Venturi, because that'll be Maserati. Beta Cheetah. I don't know. I don't know any of this. Why am I here? No. There we go, and that concludes all 12 teams. 12. I'm thinking of next year. 11 teams. Jesus Christ! I'm getting ahead of myself. Jet lag. Blame it on jet lag. So yeah, definitely tune in this weekend. We've got 2 championships on the line. Find out where you can watch it. Head to formulae.com/ways to watch, and it shows you where you can watch it. It's live on Channel 4 in the UK at 7:30 in the morning, 8:30 if you watch it on +1. I've done that for a few Grand Prix before, and yeah, definitely tune in. It's going to be a great weekend. Will there be rain? Who will be crowned champion? Will we find out tomorrow? Can he do it? Bye bye.